Looking at the steering wheel as well as the cluster screen inside of the Cadillac Lyriq. You're going to have the exact same setup across all trim levels of the vehicle, with the exception you might not have the Super Cruise feature, just depending on which trim you've gone for. But let's dive in and I'm going to show you everything that you need to know. The first thing that I'm going to point out is that the steering wheel inside of the Ride is going to be power telescoping. So on the column on the left-hand side, there's a button there. So you're going to go, it's a directional pad, forwards, backwards, up and down to find that perfect position. Once you do, along the side here, what you're going to do, adjust your driver's seat the way that you like to, adjust your side view mirrors the way that you'd like to. From there, you're going to tap set, and then either 1 or 2 for it to remember your own personal profile. So useful if there are multiple people that are driving the vehicle. There's also this little knob right there. So if you tap it, that's going to turn on massage chair seats. And then if you roll it, you could then adjust your lumbar support there too, or rotate it again in order to get 2 different versions of massage, or toggle the massage off completely there. Then, so many different buttons in stock. So let's start off with the stock along the left-hand side. So you could hit that in order to use your turn signals, and you can also flash out your high beams. But along the outside here, you can also tap this button in order to move between some different light modes. So you're going to be in the auto mode the majority of the time, so you can adjust your lights out this way, but through the infotainment system here, if you go into your vehicle controls and go see more controls and then lights, you've got options. So you can turn on your overhead light if you want to, but you're going to actually be in the auto high beam mode. That's what I recommend. And your auto headlight mode is the way to go. So what that means is that later on at night, if the vehicle recognizes high beams are needed, it turns them on automatically. If somebody's oncoming, it turns them off before turning them right back on again. But if you wanted to permanently lock your high beams out, go into the bottom headlamp mode there instead, so your light always on mode. You could then push away in order to get those high beams going, pull towards you in order to turn them off. It's just that, like I said, you're going to be in the auto mode the majority of the time. It's definitely the way to go. And then you've got your buttons along the outside of the stick there. So there's a button on the tip of the left stick. If you just tap it lightly, that's going to be for your windshield wipers. If you push and hold, that's going to get your front wiper fluid going. And then you could use the little rocker in the middle in order to figure out that wiper speed. You've got one on the right-hand side, and that's going to be for your rear camera washer. Stick along the left-hand side is your shifter. So foot on the brake, pull in towards you to go into neutral, all the way up for reverse and release, drop down and go into drive. And then there's a button at the tip of the right stick in order to put yourself into park. And then just down by your left knee, there are a series of buttons available. So this one is for your parking brakes. You just tap in order to turn it on. In order to turn it off, you push and hold the brake pedal, push again in order to turn that parking brake off. There's your lane keeping system. Auto hold. So with the auto hold setting enabled, if you come down to a complete stop, take your foot off the brake, the car is not going to move. And then you can also increase or decrease the brightness of the cluster screen. And then there's also a paddle along the left-hand side. So it's not a paddle like a traditional paddle shifter. What it does is it's actually for regenerative braking. So if you push and hold that paddle, it's similar to one pedal drive, where it's going to try to capture that charge. And eventually when you come down to a complete stop, it's going to put you into the auto hold setting. So even if you don't have the auto hold setting turned on along the left-hand side, when you come down to a stop, push and hold there until you come down to a stop completely. Then you can take your feet off the brake and the car is not going to move. And then there are so many different buttons. So let's start with the ones along the left-hand side. So you've got your different buttons for your cruise control. And then there's also a button for heated steering wheel. So heated steering wheel is the same across the board, and it's heated all the way around. And then looking at cruise control, there are technically 3 different types of cruise control available inside of the Lyriq. There's old school regular cruise, there's adaptive cruise, and then there's super cruise, so the super cruise is full hands-free driving. So in order to use the systems, you toggle it on by pushing this button, and you can see there that a little message comes on inside of the cluster screen. From there, you'd then push down to set your speed. You can increase or decrease 1 kilometer, 1 mile per hour at a time. You can push and hold up or push and hold down to increase to the nearest 5 or 0. So you're essentially going up faster. From there, you're set to go. You can hit the brake to cancel your speed. You can hit the cancel button there to cancel your speed. And then you just push up to resume your previously set speed. Now I mentioned there are 3 different types of cruise. So if you take the cancel button, if you push and hold it for a second, that's going to flip you in between either the regular cruise control, so that's your old school. So let's say if you set it at 80, the car in front of you slows down, yours will not brake. So you just have to be paying attention when you use that regular cruise. If you push and hold it, That's going to then turn you into the adaptive cruise control. And that's where this little gap adjustment comes into play. So it's how close or far are you away from that leading vehicle with 3 unique levels. Think of that like a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi for how close or far you are away from that leading vehicle. I'm personally okay level 1 the majority of the time. You might want to be on 2 or 3, just depending on your own personal comfort level. And then the third type of cruise is Super Cruise. So it's not available everywhere, but where it's available, what's going to happen is you'll see a steering wheel pop up somewhere inside of the cluster screen, depending on which view you have set up. So there are a few different looks that are available. So if you look along the left-hand side, you can see a series of different options here. So you've got different views that are available inside of the cluster screen. So more like a classic minimalistic look, energy look, or the traditional gauge look, which I'm normally a fan of this gauge look. From there, you can also hit this in order to look at different trip counters. In order to reset any of these options, all you're going to do is just push and hold. That's going to recenter you back out. So there are a few options there, or just like a blank screen. So if you didn't want anything showing up on that side, you can adjust it out that way. And then you can also tap here in order to get to your different light modes. You're going to be in the auto mode the majority of the time. You can toggle your headlights off completely if you'd like to, and then there's some additional modes there. So you can customize that gauge, but you will notice that the Super Cruise icon pops up somewhere. When you tap it to turn on, if it's available, it's going to go green on the steering wheel. But what might happen is you might notice that it goes blue for a second. That means that the Super Cruise system is enabled, it just can't activate yet. Once it's available to activate, it's going to go green here, and then you can take your hands off the steering wheel, feet off the gas and the brake, and the car is going to do everything. It can even get to the point where it does a lane change for you automatically based off of what you have set up here. If you go to your settings and then vehicle, you've got Super Cruise lane change. So with the Super Cruise system, if you've got the Super Cruise system actively enabled, with the automatic lane change, if the vehicle recognizes that the lane that you're in, people are going too slow, it can hit the turn stalk and move you over automatically. And then after it passes that slower vehicle, it can put the turn signal back on and get you back into the lane that you were in. It's phenomenal. There's the turn signal activated. So if you've got Super Cruise turned on, you then hit the turn stalk to go left or right. It'll check to see if there's anybody next to you, and then it'll shift lanes for you automatically. And then there's just off, where it's a manual lane change. But honestly, the automatic is pretty neat. If you've got the automatic going and it starts to change lanes for you, if you go the opposite way, it's just going to cancel out that lane change that it's attempting to do. But the turn signal activate is good. You could turn signal activate and have the vehicle change lanes for you. It's really weird the first few times that you use it if you've never used it before, but I think it's a phenomenal system. Definitely recommend getting the hang of that system. I use at least adaptive cruise control everywhere, but knowing that you can use Super Cruise all over the place too, pretty useful. Then you've got a series of buttons along the right-hand side. Now, you've got this one, which is going to be for your media, so you can button push in order to get to all of your available audio sources. And then you're using the rocker in the middle here in order to go up and down, pushing in the middle in order to select whatever source you'd like to. Then you can also use this up and down in order to jump between all of your favorited radio stations. From there, just tap one of these randomly. You've got your volume button, so you can adjust your audio this way if you'd like to. There's also a little scroll wheel along the right-hand side to adjust your volume that way too. You could use this in order to do things like change songs, radio stations. You can navigate using your voice. You can control your climate using your voice, and so many other things. So I recommend getting used to this feature. If you have a phone set up, you could then do a push and hold, like long push, and that's going to activate either your Siri or your Google Assistant, depending on whether you're iOS-based or if you're Android-based. From there, you can answer or hang up on a phone call. If you've got audio going, you can also push this button in order to mute out your audio, bring it back again. You could then also push up and down this way to jump between all of your presets. So you can adjust presets out so many different ways. Then inside of the cluster screen, you've got this little section along the left-hand side, and this one can actually be edited out. So inside of the infotainment system, if you look at vehicle status, that's going to give you a few different options inside of the ride. So you can look at a full overview, your tire information, where you could also add this information to the driver display. And that's the same thing for other things. Do you want your energy information there, air quality, etc.? So if we were to take, let's say, energy usage, you could remove it from the display, or you can add it back in. So if you just want date and time, you're just going to go to one of the active settings, add, and then remove to get date and time. But you can add any of these available options into that little part of the display if you'd like to. So you can kind of customize it there. From there, you've got the direction that you're currently facing, your current odometer, whether or not you've got that lane keeping system enabled or not. So that's the one where if you start to veer over into another lane, it's going to nudge you back into your lane as long as it recognizes the lane markings. You've got your current battery level there, so it's done a few different ways. And then you've got your different gauges, which I'll explain in a second. But your vehicle speed is there, if the speed sign is recognized, if you've got your cruise control system turned on, what gear you're in, along with the drive mode, if people are plugged in, and then your current audio. Then using the pad along this side, so again, going into your audio this way, and then just up and down to move between all of your available sources, or if you're on a basic screen there, you can then go up and down to jump between all of your setup presets. Now with the gauges here, I want you to think of the upper part of this gauge as your traditional tachometer. So it's essentially your power level. So as you put your foot down, you'll notice that this gauge goes up, so you're using power. The one down here is for braking, so regenerative braking, where the vehicle's trying to recapture that charge. So if you're slowing down fairly quickly, you'll notice that this drops down quite a little bit. From there, if you use the paddle along the left-hand side, so pushing and holding, you'll notice that that drops down quite a bit before it turns you into the auto hold setting. But it's a pretty simple system all around. I do like the full mapping cluster view. I think that looks great. And when you've got an active route going, hey Google, navigate to Tim Hortons.
There's a Tim Hortons 0.3 kilometers away. Want to navigate there?
Sure. And let's go ahead and start. Look at that. So you've got your full map and cluster view there, and then you'll have turn-by-turn directions available in some screens, but the majority of them, not so much. But having that full map and cluster view, I think that looks great. If you go to your settings there, you've got so many options, but we're looking for system, and then you've got your units, and that's where you can change out your different measurement units. So you do want to be in either US or metric, and you can see it adjusting everything out there. So it's adjusting out your odometer, your current, battery range, and everything like that. And it also adjusts out your climate down low. So I know that is a lot of information, but that's everything that you need to know about the steering wheel as well as the cluster screen inside of the Cadillac Lyriq.